So Chill Rob G in the house with me today. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, man, what you been up to lately, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I've been living, you know what I mean? I did have a day job, but I let that go so I could focus more attention on music, you know what I mean, and the people.
That's right. F the day jobs. That's what you're saying right now. Listen, but seriously, man, let's go back for all the people who want to know the history, you know what I'm saying, Chill Rob G, man. In the very beginning, how did you first get signed? How did they first discover you, man? That's the first question I have to ask.
To the very beginning. How did I first get this? Okay, I was hanging out with my man from high school, dude I went to school with named Lati. And, he's from Jersey City, I'm from Jersey City. And, his brother and I had classes together in high school. They moved, like one town over to Irvington. And I was out there one day, I ran into him. So he said, like, Rob, what's up with you? What you doing? You need to, come kick it with me. I'm going to see my man. He's a DJ, got these beats. Maybe you want to come through, spit a couple of bars or something, just hanging out. So I was like, yeah, sure. So I went through, and we ended up going to the 45 King's crib, to his basement. I didn't know that's who it was, but we was down there vibing, a couple of hours, drinking and just kicking it and, rapping and all of that. So it wasn't like till I was about to break out that I realized that this was the dude that Red Alert was playing his beats on the radio like every week. So, I was real hype after that because, we was down there chilling and dude was real cool. And like the next day, he called me up. He got my number from Lati, called me up and asked me if I wanted to do a demo with him. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. And that's how we got in the studio.
Well, that's what's up, man. So it just so happened you were at the right place at the right time, man. 45 King was up there doing his thing, and then bam, for all the people who don't know who 45 King is, man, that's the dude that was responsible for Queen Latifah. He was responsible for a lot of early De La Soul and who else?
He did Stand for Eminem. He did was the Hard Knock Life with Jay-Z. He got a couple of Grammys. He's a big dude.
That's right. And just so happened, Chill Rob G back in the day, before 45 King was just about to blow up, he was right there at the right time. But you still had some serious, lyrics, man. You just came through real rough. And what was your very first single, man?
The first single was... the first single was Dope Rhymes on the A side, and the B side was I'm Chillin'.
Word up. So when did you finally realize that you were starting to blow up? You started hearing your stuff on the radio. When was the first definitive moment you knew that this was something special, that something really happened?
I never really thought I blew up. I knew I was getting a lot of attention, though, when I was on daytime radio. And I just happened to be, I had this girlfriend who she wasn't really into hip-hop like that. So she didn't really want me to spend so much time. Like I used to tell her, hey, I got to go be at this party and I got to go do this show and stuff like that. She wasn't interested. So one day, I kind of thought we was going to have to break up. Anyway, one day I was sitting outside, had some headphones on. I think we just had an argument. And my song came on the radio. And, it was in the middle of the day. And this is the first time I was getting, daytime airplay. First time I caught it anyway. And I was stunned. I was just sitting there, and she was in front of me and she was talking to some little girls or whatever she was doing. And I didn't want to move. I didn't want to say, hey, yo, listen, I'm on the... I just sat there and took it in, man, and just listened to it. So that was my first indication that I was doing the right thing.
True indeed. Now, people have been begging me to ask this next question. I think you know what the question is. All right, so you're going to answer the question. Wait, first, let me explain to people who might not know, just give a little background. There was 2 records out at the same exact time. Y'all probably remember it. It was called The Power. Remember that record? I'm going to give you an imitation. I got the power. Well, anyway, when that record came out, there was 2 versions of the record out at the same time. One was my man Chill Rob G's version on Wild Pitch Records, and the other one was somebody that sounded like this. All right, so you tell them who the originator was and tell them the story behind that.
Okay, so the whole I Got the Power thing came about from a song that the 45 King and I did called Let the Words Flow. And we put an a cappella version on it, which was real funky with the hi-hats on it. My vocals came out really crisp on that record, and it was really big in Germany. They loved it. So these producers in Germany basically did a remix of the song. And, you know, they chopped up my vocals and they added Jocelyn Brown singing from a song called Love's Gonna Get You. There's a verse that she starts off with, you know, that I Got the Power that you just heard my man CUTSUPREME do so beautifully just now. And, you know, they put it all together and they started playing it in the clubs out there, and, you know, the people was going crazy. So they passed it off to a radio DJ out there, and then now the thing is on the radio, it's getting a lot of play. So they actually started booking shows. They're doing all of this. I think maybe all of this took place over the course of maybe 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So they're booking shows. They need somebody to go and perform. They're not reaching out to my label, which is Wild Pitch, which they could have done. Instead, they get some kid who's stationed in the army in Germany who's telling everybody that he used to rap with Big Daddy Kane. This is a crazy story. But the dude, his name was Turbo B. And, you know, Turbo's like, yeah, I can rap, I'll do it. So he gets on stage and he's performing the one version of the record that exists, which was my version. So the Jungle Brothers saw him on stage. They happened to be in Germany and caught his show. They knew me because we was on tour together and they heard me do that song every night. I think we was out on the road for maybe 3 weeks together. So they knew that song. Africa from the Jungle Brothers called me up and said, yo, Rob, we out here in Germany and we just saw some dude on stage doing a remix of one of your songs. Man, you need to find out what's going on with this. I said, okay, cool. Boom, hung up the phone, got dressed, went straight over to Wild Pitch Records right away. Told them that, yo, I just got off the phone with Africa and somebody's out there plagiarizing. We got to get on this. The same time I'm beefing about that, the guy that owned Wild Pitch, Stu Fine, turned around and handed me a record. And it was a really nice looking, you know, kind of a cartoon artwork where like somebody was turning into a beast. And it said, I got the power, you know, in big letters on across the top of it. This was a single. And he said, somebody just gave me this single. So, and with a little note, a typed up note saying, Stu, you need to listen, from Anonymous. Just all really ridiculous, like, what? Like, what's going on? So I thought I was being set up. I probably was to this minute. I don't know where all that stuff came from. But we listened to it. That song was The Power. From what I was getting out of Stu Fine that day, he didn't know where it came from. He doesn't know who the guy who was performing in Germany. He knew nothing. All he knew was that here's the record. So, you know, we listened to it. It sounded good enough. I mean, it wasn't the kind of music I was making. I was doing kind of, you know, hardcore underground type hip hop back then. But this was a good dance track, so yeah, let's put it out. We put the record out, and for about 2 months, we had the record to ourselves before Arista Records decided they wanted to put it out too. And they're going to put it out in Germany, and they're going to put it out they're going to put it out all over the world because we're Arista Records, and we don't care about Chill Rob G. That's what Arista said. So they put the record out. They got Turbo B. Come on in, Turbo. We ain't going to give you a contract, but we're going to pimp you. So Turbo B came in. And they got him to go into the studio and kind of do another version. Don't mess up the formula, Turbo. Sound like this guy as best you possibly can. So he said, I will attack, and you don't want that. You know, he's mad whack. I really, you know, anyway. Let me get up to.
Let it out, man.
Let me just stick with the story. I've been explaining this thing since it happened. It's like 25 years I've been explaining this thing. And what really kind of sucks is that this dude has kind of attached his name to my name in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to explain the snap every time when we talking about the power. Because everybody want to know about the power, which is it's ridiculous. Who puts out the same record as the other artists? Who does that? It never happened before. I never heard it happen before. You ever heard it happen before that?
Never ever, man.
I never heard it happen before or since, man. So, you know, lucky me. Happened to me.
You know what? You're here now, and we're going to do Chill Rob G night. We're going to play all your joints tonight and let them know who really has the power, all right?
All right, that's what it is then.
All right, so let's jump into the next joint of the countdown. We're going to get to part 2 of the interview in a little while. If you have any questions for Chill Rob G, give us a call, 631-632-6901. We got Mikey Fresh in the building. Mikey Fresh, step up. Why don't you introduce the next song of the countdown, man? We're not playing tonight.